Hi guys, this is a VR to the Peachys for their 400 plus giveaway. Um, I'm smoking my 7LE pipe and I'm using my Frankenstein mixture, which is all the ends of tobaccos that I've been smoking. And to be honest, I'm rather liking it. They're not bad. They seem to have blended well. The Peachys asked that if we could travel back in time, where would we go? And what would we bring back with us? And I've thought about this for a long time. And I'd like to go back to the years 1264 to 1343 to Japan. And I'd like to meet one man, a man called Masamune. He was also called Goro Masamune. He was a priest, and he's thought of as Japan's greatest sword maker. His swords that survive are considered beautiful, serviceable, and some of them are considered national treasures, which means that they have exceptional value. And I'd like him to take me on as an apprentice and to make me a sword. The reason I want him to make me a sword is because his swords were recognised as holy swords, good swords. Some makers created evil swords. And the story is that one of Masamune's apprentices asked the master to join him in making a sword. They'd each make a sword and see who was the best at making a sword. And they both worked really hard on this. They spent months making these swords. And to test them, they were going to put them in the river and see what the sword would cut. So first of all, the apprentice went down to the river with his master, put his sword in the river, and whatever floated down the river was cut in half. Everything from leaves to branches to fish. Whatever came down the river and touched his sword was cut in half. So the apprentice took his sword out, quite pleased with what had happened. And then Masamune put his sword in, and it only cut leaves as they floated down. Didn't cut anything else, but it cut dead leaves. And a fish even came up to the sword and was in front of the sword, but the sword didn't touch the fish at all. So the apprentice was bragging to his master that his was the greatest sword. He'd put it in the river and it cut everything that came down. Such a brilliant, sharp blade, whilst the master's only cut leaves. And the master just took his sword out, wiped it, cleaned it, oiled it, put it in its sheath, and didn't say anything. But a monk who was by the riverbank came over and I saw what happened. And he said, "Young man, your sword cut everything." And the young man swelled up with pride, and he said, "That proves it's an evil sword." He said, "It cut everything, whether it deserved cutting or not." And he said, "Whilst your master's sword only cut leaves. It was a sword that wouldn't take life unless it was deserving of taking. And therefore your master's sword is the greatest sword." Masamune swords were passed down generation by generation. They were so valuable that the family fortunes would be won or lost with them, and various samurais used them in battle. I'm not going to go into the names of the swords because that would take too long. But I would love to have one of his swords and to have it on a stand on the fire mantle where all could see it. And if I got desperately poor, I could sell it. But that would be a sad day if I did that. The sword masters of today can win a competition called the Masamune competition. It isn't awarded every year. It's only awarded when a sword master creates something that is very special and does something for the community, the sword making community. But the sword that wins the prize must be an exceptional blade, and the sword master must be an exceptional man. And in Japan now, sometimes criminals are put to work with a sword master. They help him to beat the metal. They help him to make the sword. And in doing so, seem to gain some self-respect and a renewal of their life away from a life of crime. It's a very spiritual experience, the making of a sword. And it takes a lot of skill and a lot of understanding of metal, folding them thousands of times. And on each sword, there's like a wavy line that goes along. And some of those wavy lines turn into a design, like one of the most popular ones today is Mount Fuji. So you would see the line going along, and then Mount Fuji appear, and the line continues. It takes a lot of skill to do that by folding metal. But I'm going to stop there with the sword makers and and come back to the present time, carrying my sword with pride, maybe even one that I've made. And I'm going to finish with a joke, but before I do that, I've got a call out. Somebody said that he'd like to hear me say his name. I don't know why. I mean, I'm only English. It's just a way of speaking. But I want to give him a call out anyway because he's got a good account and videos, and that's Waves of Java. Waves of Java has about nearly 50 people subscribing to him, and I think he deserves a lot more. Not just because he wants me to say his name, Waves of Java, but because I think he deserves it. And I'll finish with the usual joke. This guy walks out of his house in America and he sees a gorilla in a tree in his front lawn. So he calls for the animal control. And about an hour later, this man turns up and he's got a shotgun, a ladder, and a pit bull terrier. And the animal control tells the man, "I'm here to get the gorilla out of your tree. I'm going to use the ladder to climb up into the tree and shake the branch, and the gorilla's going to I'm going to knock him to the ground. The pit bull's trained to go after anything that falls from the tree and bites their balls," which, claims the animal director, it calms the animal down so I can put him in the truck. The man says, "Okay, I see what the ladder and the pit bull are for, but what's the shotgun for?" And he says, "If I fall out that bloody tree, shoot the dog."